Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Per. I'm not currently drinking anything. I didn't grab anything to drink, and it's okay. It's all right. I don't need to drink. I just had dinner, so I'm okay. But what I do have that's pretty important is my cup mug. And since I am a panel of one today, that means that's a panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. Ow. Deal or no deal edition. Period. And you can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. I mean, unless your postal service is moving a tad bit slow. And that's okay, because a delay is never a deny. So you'll get it. It just might take a little time to get it. But get your cup merch. Period. And today I am here talking about all things Deal or No Deal Island, episode 3. Not episode 3. I'm so used to going into episode mode that I'm thinking that's what I am. That's not what we're here. We're here to do an interview. We're here to talk to the next eliminated player, which is Rock. And I'm very sad about it. I am very sad about it. I kind of really enjoyed Rock. And so I'm excited to talk about Rock. But I will say, we had to do things a little differently this time for Rock's interview. As not like our last interview with Luke, we had to do a roundtable interview with other podcasters and news outlet sources. And so we have a lot of different people asking questions, and I don't want to infringe on their podcast. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask their questions for them, just relay the questions for our podcast. And then you're going to hear all the questions that were asked to Rock, and then the interview will go on as normal. But I just wanted to relate that because I don't want any other outlet or podcast to, have their stuff on a situation I don't want to be a part of. But we'll respect their podcast. But we are going to have the interview as we promised, and Rock was amazing. I can't wait for y'all to see this interview. So let's get right into it. So before we do that, hit the subscribe button on this channel. Absolutely hit the subscribe button on this channel. Subscribe to this channel, to all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links, our Patreon, all of our socials. All of those things it will be in the description below. So please support us. We're trying to get 1,000 followers by the end of this year, and I'm going to work as hard to do that. And I just need you to subscribe. So do that. Thanks. Now, on with the show. Here comes Rock. So first question, Rock, how do you feel about your elimination from the show?
Oh, no. I mean, hey, I lost to the banker, and hey, I was good. I mean, I wasn't bummed. I mean, it was my decision to take the deal, and I'm good with it. I mean, I really am. I mean, I have no problem with it at all. None at all. I played my game, and I thought there was a woman's alliance forming, and that's why I jumped up to play the banker and do it. And I'd also like to add that the reason why I took the deal, there's no pressure from any of those people on the peanut gallery. I mean, come on, my cast members, I love them to death, but there's nobody going to intimidate me or stress me or take a deal because they said so. The reason why I took the deal, even though I thought for sure I had it, was because of number 11 that was up on the board. Was my brother passed away in November, and I'm outside a lot, and I look at the stars, and I look at everything and up in the sky, and the other two numbers were my parents. So it's almost like the three of them are together again, and I didn't want them to go dark. Spend too much time looking at the stars and miss the shit out of them, and I want to do the right thing for my family and me, because after the show is over, it's all on me, and it would have been a big regret. So that's why I took it. Also to put money on the board for the other one. So I kind of took the deal for them and myself as a combination, plus the stats were at 75%, but I felt very confident that I had the big money.
My next question, Rock, what was your favorite memory from the show and why?
Probably the fact that I got my happy ass in there into the cast, and coming around that corner and seeing the island was the Bankers Island was just so real, along with all the snakes, the spiders, the the howler monkeys. I mean, believe me, it was amazing, man. And it's an opportunity of a lifetime, especially being, 65, I'm 66 now, and playing this game with people, 40 plus years younger than me, as well as, a little bit less than that. But it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and it's something I'll never, ever forget, as well as something that will show my family that, no matter how old you are or young you are, don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something or you can't make something of yourself, and to be an inspiration to others to go for it. That was the biggest thing that I think was the best thing about the island.
So when Poverty approached you and said that the girls were targeting you, how did you feel about that?
Well, I pretty well knew the girls were going to target me because of the fact I felt that there was a woman's alliance brewing automatically, even before that. And I think that Poverty took a swing the first time with CK to try and get me out.
Wow.
And because she wanted a shield with Sydney, and that didn't work. So when she's telling me about how much she loves me and all that other stuff, I take it for a little bit, and by the way, I'm wiping my face because all the goddamn humidity and the bugs. I tell you what, you got to watch this show with the snakes and the howler monkeys. But I was sweating my family jewels off. Believe me, man. I mean, I was like crazy. But then the last question, the thing was like, well, Rock, if you make it, who are you going to knock out, right? So if you're really sincere about something like that, you're not going to say, I'm really sorry. Can you take me to lunch? I mean, come on, let's get real.
So you picked a lot of numbers according to your family, and there were a lot of high numbers. So how did your family react to you picking their numbers and seeing you on the show?
They loved it. I mean, they're all telling me how proud they are of me and everything else. And, when you get older and you have kids and wife, I mean, especially being this age, where you wake up every morning hoping your feet are on this side of the goddamn grass. Well, let me tell you something, man. Anything you can leave for your family to say, hey, my dad, he did this and this and this and never gave up, and I'm so proud of him. But I had to pop him and mention him somehow because there wasn't enough cases up there on there to individually do them. But the real one, the other one was how important it was for my mother-in-law that turned 95. And she still was able to watch it, and she's so happy that, I picked number 10 for her birthday because it was October 29th. So she's really happy, Joan.
So, Rock, a lot of people were scrambling when they found out that all of them were vulnerable and to go home if you won, and they wanted to talk to you a lot. So I wanted to know who you actually would have sent home and why if you made a good deal.
Well, let me back this up real quick for a second. First of all, I watch a lot of reality TV show from Big Brother and Survivor and stuff. And the other thing is you never know when you're out of the game till the game is done, till production's over and your happy ass is flying home. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't going to say nothing to nobody because I really didn't know. Okay. Now they may think I was just this, knucklehead guy, like, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? But hey, it's me, man. And I was watching everything because I wanted to see whose car everybody was riding in and who was washing the windows or changing the tires or what the case may be, So that was my strategy. I was going to heat it up, but I wasn't going to let anybody know. But the bottom line because of the Women's Alliance, I think it would have been Sachel.
So, Rock, who do you think is different from when you were on the island with them to how they're coming across on television? And who do you want to see win the game in the end?
Oh, I think they're all pretty much the same on TV as on the island as they are in real life. Of course, I haven't seen any of them in real life since, but I think 100% of them, are the way they are, and especially Luke on the other side, as far as his handshake and his word. I mean, he didn't have a clue about reality TV. He was poor guy was out of his mix on it. But I hope Letty goes quite a ways and wins. I really can't say. Letty stock went up after that last one for me. CK's she's tough too, man. I mean, she's tough. Poverty, of course, we all know Poverty, but I think Letty. David, I couldn't put a finger on because I couldn't figure him out too much. He just knew where to stand everything. So I don't know how far he's going to go, but now I hear all this stuff about, the Golden God and all this Australia stuff, but I knew he was somebody. But I think probably Letty.
Who did you think was the biggest threat on the island?
Besides the damn howler monkeys, boo! The snakes, the bugs, the ants. I mean, the ants are on their rear legs, man, eating the rats. I mean, come on. Everything in the jungle wants to kill you, and everybody on the island and your cast members want to kill you. So I couldn't tell you that, man. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. I think probably it's going to be Letty or Dr. Will, in a sense. I really do. Letty's tough, man. Letty's tough, and she's smart. She may not play it, but she's smart. She's really, and she's so damn athletic, you know. But I got to tell you, that whole cast was a bunch of goddamn beast animals and gorgeous people that all just, you know, staying in shape and working out, you know. Unlike Moa, that I was looking for me, you know, looking for the donuts and the cupcakes, which was zilch. Anyway, I think probably Letty.
When Will shared his thoughts before you faced the banker, did you believe him?
Yes, I did. I trusted him. Plus, he's a big target. But I watched a lot of reality TV, and you just cannot say who you're taking out because you never know if your happy ass is going to come back into the game. And if you do, and all of a sudden you say, hey, I'm taking him out, and you're back in the game again, because you're not out of the game until production stops and the game's over. So I wasn't going to say nothing to anybody. But yes, I would have teamed with probably Dr. Will, and I would have probably tried to get in a car with Dr. Will and Letty and try and form something with that.
Along the same lines of that last question, what were your thoughts of CK's strategy to get rid of Dr. Will, and were you on board with that?
Well, I was on board with it, but the thing about this game is it's so different because in the reality games, you know, you kind of pick them and say you're going up, and then you got like an HOA or something to stay in the game. But with this, it's like you want to be either down towards the bottom to, you know, do your own destiny like myself, you know, play your own game, or, you know, and I was on Simmer. I was waiting till after this episode 3 before I started turning up the heat because I pretty well had an idea of what was going on. And that was, like I said, why I took it, because of the Women's Alliance was forming. And I knew I would have been a Gordon Johnson if I just sat there, didn't jump up and control my own destiny. But it's, I lost that last part of that, man. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
Were you willing to get Dr. Will out early on?
Depending on where it was in the game. CK hated him, and you know, she didn't care too much for Sydney, so she's going to try as much as she has. But you know, if she keeps trying and you get in a car with her, and then Dr. Will finds out, or then he teams up with Poverty for a minute, because you know, CK and Poverty, whether they had that alliance going on or not, I think Poverty was more fixed on trying to get Dr. Will out also, but it was too short for me to tell. I don't know, but I can tell you they're all great players, man, and I really liked every one of them. But it depends on how soon into the game or how late into the game Dr. Will, you know, CK. But I think that Poverty and David are going to use Dixon to do some dirty deed. I think they are, you know. I think they're definitely in the car, but then she bounced in and went with Phillip, so it was just too hard to try and figure out, as much as I was playing low key and trying to watch everything rather than jumping in real fast and forming a let's you and me go. I wanted to see where everybody else was riding before I started committing myself.
Hearing your love for reality TV, my question is, would you want to do any more reality television? You got your feet wet in Dylan O'Deal Island. Would you do another show?
Listen, I don't like any closed doors, man.
Period.
No. I do whatever this shit this big mulligan can get into. You know, I'm just so happy and grateful that you know, they gave me a bite at this apple, you know, because, you know, being 65 years old now, 66, the opportunities don't roll very often, you know, plus the fact to make my family proud, you know, I mean, but I'm a shark. I'd run my own game. There was no intimidation from any of those people to do what I did, you know, and it's like I said about that number 11 with my brother, because he passed away, and my family members, you know, I'm the one that has to live with that. But believe me, there's no intimidation on this guy right now. I mean, I've been around the block too many times, even on a tricycle, man. I mean, I know what everybody has in their garbage cans. The only way you can tell how good a person or how bad a person is, looking at damn trash, man.
Period.
But anyway, I'm open for anything, except for maybe Naked and Afraid. Now, I said a lot of shit, and I mean, a lot of it was joking around and playing and woo. and yelling and screaming. But it was to cause excitement and get the blood flowing in these guys. And everything's being an inspiration to everybody that don't let nobody tell you you ain't good enough to do shit. You screw you and just keep going, get off your back and on your feet, do it, man. And that was the biggest thing.
I love that. I can see, look, I want to see Rock on Traders. I don't know about nobody else. I would love to see Rock on Traders because that kind of attitude, baby, I would love it. It would be great to see on TV.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say one more thing, but everything is about chaos and disruptions and drama and deflecting, and that's right up my alley. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do any of that stuff, but I got to tell you, man, it's you got to watch these people. And the main thing is, man, you have to really watch with your eyes and listen with your ears. And that's why you have two sets and one mouth. So you keep your shit shut, listen, watch, and pay attention.
Rock, what did it feel like when you were in the temple playing the banker?
Over freaking whelming. Let me tell you, man. It's just so surreal, man. I mean, it's unbelievable, especially being there with Joe and everything else. When we started it, I was like, hey, we're making a deal now, right? He says, yes, we hope so. And I said, well, before every deal, let's have a shot. And that's the way every bargaining thing starts. Let's go, brother. No Coors Light. They didn't give me shit. But hey, I'm telling you, it was overwhelming and I loved it. And I got the crowd, the cast pumped up, and I love each and every one of them. They're all great people, man. And I got to tell you though, that island, it wants to kill you. Everybody on the cast wants to kill you. But I'll tell you what, they talk so much shit. I didn't know whether to give them a breath mint, paper towel, toilet paper to clean themselves up, or a bib. But I tell you, it was overwhelming and I love it. But again, there was no pressure from any of them for me to make my decision. But the lights, the camera, and the action was unbelievable. No matter how much you yell and scream at your TV, do this, do that, But when you're in it, it's a different ballgame. Much respect to NBC and, casting.
So the banker called you the worst player. How did you feel about that?
Well, let me tell you something. That banker's she is a twisted, crazy person. I swear to God, I think she could have been on the cast, because I swear to God, the cast was like a bunch of psychotic, lunatic, one flew over the cuckoo's nest, islanders, man, every single one of us. And she fit right in, but her competitions were unbelievably psychotic, twisted, unbelievable. I don't know what to say, but hey, I'll tell you what, you can only say so much stuff. I laughed, I'm like, yeah, come on, baby girl, give me a goddamn personal offer. And if she would have, I'd have told her to take a flying hike. Because I was trying everything I could. Of course, they cut that out, but they cut a lot of stuff. I want to say one more thing. With the snakes and the rats, the everything in that island, and the cast want to kill you, man. I'll tell you, it's treacherous. You got to watch it, but I'm telling you, it's going to get so intense here in a little bit. And like I told him before, I said, when I left, I said, there's going to be a line drawn in the sand here. And this is when the rubber's going to meet the road. And I said that the honeymoon's going to be over. The goddamn bathroom door is going to be open and the toilet seat's going to be up. So you guys better be prepared. If I don't come back, the drama's going to start. Hey, and what's a big family without a little bit of drama and chaos?
So you said that you really couldn't trust anyone. Luke said that he trusted you the most. In hindsight, is there someone who you actually could trust or you trusted the most in the game?
Absolutely. Let me tell you, Luke was out of his realm on the island. He had no idea about reality TV, and bless his heart, man. He was the old school, shake a hand, and I don't know what happened, between him and, Sachel or not, but, Luke is the guy that you shake a hand and you mean it, and you give him a word, you mean it. And that's some old school stuff, man. And I really respect it, but I tell you, a lot of the people though, man, they're writing checks with their mouth that their ass can't cash. And I tell you what, I love it. But, the only one I really trusted was three people, me, myself, and I. I would have probably shot something with Letty or Dr. Will if Luke didn't get out. Luke was fishing and everything. He had no clue. He's a huntsman. He needs to go on, what is it? Naked and Afraid. Not me, brother.
So my last question is, what's more stressful, playing the banker or watching someone else play the banker?
Boy, that's a good question. Let me tell you, when you're playing the banker, when you're playing the banker, okay, you've got your number set like you want. But I got to tell you, man, like reality TV and these other shows, they pick who's going up or they put you up, right? And then they vote you out. On here, you got to have lady luck on your side too. You have to, man. And or you got to gamble, you know. But you don't want a heavy case. You don't want one filled up with millions, man. You just don't, because they're never going to really pop that offer above where you're thinking your comfort zone is in the middle, like all the high case and low cases. But to answer the other side of the question, if you're on the bottom and you got an opportunity to go play the banker, your ass better play the banker, because otherwise you may be going home and sit there look like a dump truck and you didn't even get to do nothing. But on the other side is if you're in the bottom and you're not playing the banker, then like in mine, when I was playing the banker, they were all free game. Well, they're sitting up there, you know, putting little pebbles in their shorts. But the other side is they're like a duck up on water and their feet are going like this, you know, because it's crazy. So I think I'd rather play the damn banker, man, and control my own destiny like I did, because I thought that woman's alliance was coming, and with them two, and they won. I know my happy big ass mulligan would have been leaving. Either way, I did, but at least I went out on my own accord.
Period. Oh, gosh, thank you so much. And that's that, y'all. I want to say thank you to Rock again for giving us your time. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it so much. You all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Follow us, do the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Follow us on our audio podcast links. All those links will be in the description below, as well as all the other channels that we cover. Follow all of those channels. Join our Patreon, get early access and exclusive content across all 4 channels. And follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. You can follow me on TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitter, all that. That's all down there. And my Instagram is right there. And you can get your merch. Get your cup merch. Period. Get it all. LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. And thank you all so much for joining. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all. Bye.